Welcome to the Motormouth YouTube channel. I'm Zack.
I'm Andrea.
And we do full-length car reviews on the channel, and halfway through we stop and answer your questions from Instagram. Yeah. It's called Questions, Coffee, and Cars. You seem to like it. So here we have our standalone segment. And how do you play along?
Follow along on Instagram at Motormouth_Andrea. I put up a post once a week now, and it stays up for a very short time because once we gather our questions for this show, I take it down. So get your questions in early, and thank you for all those who participate.
Time now for Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
Do you guys ever get tired of making auto-related content? I just want to say we have the best job in the world before we answer this. It is pretty special that you get to drive 2 new vehicles a week. We get to travel, we get to go on drive events and drive these new vehicles and provide some pretty great content for our viewers.
So when you run into people and they ask what you do and you tell them, they're like, oh, and then I said, yeah, it sure beats working, but it is work. And the thing is with anything, you can get tired, and we do put out a lot of content, and we work 7 days a week. Yeah. In fact, in the last 3 years, since Andrea came on the channel full time, we've only taken 5, like a week off, 5 days when we went away with our kids. But that was like the only break we took. So we've got to get better at that, I think.
Yeah, I think we have to find a bit of a balance, but we find that it's a bit of a black hole for content. Everybody's craving so much information, and we want to keep up. I mean, we want to have a successful channel. So that's what you need to do. I have to say it's probably one of my favorite jobs that I've ever had. So I like it a lot.
Andrea.
That's it.
Why.
I get to work with
You get to hang out with
him.
me every day. That's what it is.
And I get to communicate with all of you guys. So it's pretty awesome.
But it is
Zack
work.
thinks it's all about him. Of course it's work.
And that's work. It's work. But it's also cool work. It's different.
Yes.
And also the traveling can be really tiring.
For sure. Yeah, you forget
Delays,
about that. Yeah.
Missed flights, all that stuff.
Time changes. About the Sportage plug-in hybrid, a favorite of mine, can you set a default mode on climate and audio panel? Yes, you can. It makes things quite easy.
Done. Next one.
2 questions, if that's okay. Okay, we'll let it go this time. Firstly, what are some of your favorite plug-in hybrids out there or coming soon? Second, what kind of coffee do you like to drink during coffee sessions? I have a black Americano.
And I have an Americano for Americans with some non-fat milk. That's the way I like it.
Plug-in hybrids, there's lots of great ones out there. I think some of my favorites, of course, RAV4 plug-in hybrid, difficult to get, the Prime, the Sportage plug-in hybrid, the Tucson plug-in hybrid, lots of luxury brands.
What you always have to look at is that for a lot of people, this is a balance of what's the cost, what's the range, what's the availability. And when you take availability out of it, the cost and range, the RAV4 Prime is pretty hard to beat. The problem is you just can't get one. And the other thing is when you get into some of these plug-in hybrids, they bump right into full electric EVs. And that's okay because some people just can't get a level 2 charger where they live. So if you live in an apartment building or a condo complex and you do have access to a regular 110 outlet, you can live with a PHEV. You couldn't live with an EV.
No. And some luxury brands, they haven't done an excellent job of providing a lot of range. The non-luxury tend to do better. Volvo is kind of stepping up their game. One that I really liked was the BMW X3 30e. Not a lot of range, but it handles incredibly well. That's no longer available in the US.
What?
No, one I'm looking forward to driving is the Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid. That, the rumors are, and this is actually coming from the dealership because I talked to a follower on Instagram who talked to the Mazda dealership, and they said that the CX-90, the CX-70 is going to be equally as large as the CX-90, but it's going to be a 5-passenger vehicle. So that's an interesting one.
The one thing you've always got to remember, you always got to pump the brakes on what dealers say.
True.
Because dealers are really trustworthy and honest. We know that, right? They always have your best interests at heart, right?
Yes.
Those dealers, they're great when they sponsor your little league team. But a lot of them, they'll just tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah, these are rumors, and nothing has come officially from head office.
And if you're a dealer listening to this, look in the mirror
Yeah.
and tell me I'm wrong.
Here's something interesting. When we were on the Volkswagen ID Buzz launch, I asked the question to a top executive, why don't you provide plug-in hybrids in North America and only in Europe? Guess what? He said they're revisiting it, which was music to my ears because I think Volkswagen is lacking in that area.
So read the tea leaves. They do have a plug-in Tiguan in Europe. When it gets refreshed to be redone, I bet you it's coming.
Andrew and Zack, I enjoy all your content and reviews. Thank you so much. I ordered a 2023 Prius all-wheel drive in December and also placed an order for a Prius Prime. Talking with the dealer, they tell me that Toyota gives them no information regarding deliveries. I find it hard to believe that with all the computerized inventory control and order tracking, that Toyota cannot give better feedback.
Well, one of the things you got to remember, how many thousands of parts go into a car? Thousands of them. And you can't deliver a car if it's missing a key component.
No.
And so Toyota doesn't make all the parts. They have part suppliers. And if they're having trouble getting a chip or something, or there's labor issues, then they're basically not able to build the car. So yes, they can say we're going to improve our deliveries, but if there's a roadblock somewhere in the supply chain, what are you going to do?
And I don't think that they know necessarily what is coming down at the exact time, which is why the communication isn't great towards dealerships. Look, it's a frustrating time for people buying, it's a frustrating time for selling, and it's frustrating for head office. Toyota and Lexus have said that they will not release a trim that doesn't contain all the features. So if it's missing a part, you are going to have to wait. We're seeing German brands and some American brands that are releasing vehicles without a power tailgate, in some cases without a touchscreen or heated seats.
Even in the Porsche Cayenne, they were delivering them without a power telescopic steering wheel.
Yeah.
Can you imagine you spend $150K on a spendy Cayenne and you can't move the steering wheel?
I know.
Crazy,
Imagine.
right?
No, thank you.
That's been fixed, by the way.
Any word on the Honda Passport getting the same updates as the Pilot, ready to replace my Element?
It's coming, right?
Yeah, we
think
so.
We know it's going to come.
Rumors are for 2024, the Passport is going to be upgraded with all those features that the Pilot has.
Be awesome, actually.
Just makes
Hopefully
sense.
it'll be less ugly. The Passport, she's not pretty.
It's not that bad. It's
not
rugged.
pretty.
It's rugged.
Sure. Ruggedly ugly.
Love the content always. Thank you so much. I'm looking to replace my 2017 Sonata. My priority is efficiency and comfort. I'm looking for Lexus EX Hybrid and NX Hybrid. Looking for Toyota, as this is going to be a long-term vehicle.
So you have in there an SUV and a car, and the ES is based on the Camry platform, but elongated. The good news is there will be a new Camry coming. So if I were you, you're going to have to wait anyway.
Yeah.
I'd pump the brakes and see what they do with Camry, because once the Camry Hybrid is announced, that technology will spill into ES.
And I think you have to ask yourself, do you want to drive an SUV or do you want to drive a car? I'm not sure if you're single, if you have a growing family, but they handle differently. So I think that is the biggest question. And also, cars are more efficient.
Yeah, and I think you're going to be able to get a car over an SUV. Everybody wants an SUV. But the one thing about size and families, if you want a lot of room, a Lexus ES is huge in the back seat and a massive trunk, which will have more space than an NX, for example.
Absolutely. I know Zack hates the CX-90, but I'm kind of obsessed with it. Am I making a huge mistake buying this over the Telluride? Also, for just a regular guy, will you really notice the weird transmission that Zack mentioned?
Okay, I just want to qualify what I've said about the CX-90. Okay, so what I've said is people see inline six, 8-speed automatic, rear bias all-wheel drive system, and they think they're getting a BMW. You are not getting a BMW.
No.
You're getting Mazda Plus, right? It's not BMW Light, it's Mazda Plus. What I said is this is all new technology for this brand. Brand new engine, brand new transmission, brand new all-wheel drive system, brand new platform. Is it going to be perfect out of the gate? Well, we got the car back, actually it was just a week or so ago, and we drove it for a week, and actually driving it in our roads, both Andrea and I noticed that the new automatic transmission stumbles at times.
Yeah.
I found on and off throttle. I went around a corner and I applied the gas again to reactivate the power, and there was a bit of a stumble and I had to wait for it to catch up to what I wanted.
It's better in sport mode.
And that was in sport mode, by the way.
Okay, so if you put it in sport mode, you'll find it a little bit better.
They should have put it in subscribe, and then it would have been perfect.
Subscribe. You're going to notice the transmission for sure. We noticed it right away. Interestingly enough, when we were on the drive event and only drove it for a couple hours in California, I didn't notice it as much on the high output gas model. I did notice it on the plug-in hybrid for sure.
Yeah.
Now that we've had it for a week, we have noticed it. You have to decide for yourself if that bothers you or not. Hopefully Mazda can do some tweaking and fix
they can.
it. They need to do a better job with that as well. For me, an engaging drive is super important.
Yeah, but if you're waiting for power, that's not engaging. That's the opposite of engaging.
Zach,
right?
Easy does it. Easy does it, Zach. Let me finish. Anyway, if I am buying a family hauler and it is my only vehicle, I want to get something that offers me a fun and engaging ride. That's what you get in the CX-90. Is the transmission perfect? No. But it handles incredibly well. When I'm going on those twisty roads, I'm going left, I'm going right, the vehicle is moving with me. I'm having a lot of fun. More fun than any other three-row SUV, except the Grand Highlander Hybrid Max is another favorite of mine.
Okay, so the calibration of most three-row family haulers is for light input, fairly compliant suspension, comfortable and smooth. And then you get, a lot of times you get a V6 calibrated to, and well calibrated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And I think that is bigger for most people, like a bigger slice of the pie, than a more dynamic feeling Mazda or Mazda. A couple of things. I found the steering on the unit we had here for a week was really quite heavy, and the suspension is a bit bumpy, and the throttle response issue we talked about. So
you have to ask yourself, do you like that kind of drive?
I like the bigger piece of pie.
See,
then the smaller. Andrea likes the smaller pie. Look at me. I like more pie.
Zach will get into the Toyota Highlander, which is another great option. Whoever owns one is going to say, I love the Highlander. It has a more floaty drive. Zach gets in it. He's like, oh man, I love this.
I don't say that
around.
about the Highlander. The Grand Highlander I like.
No, you did. If you go back and watch our video, he's going to tell you like, oh yeah, I like that.
You get into chill mode.
Chill mode.
Yeah.
Chill mode. I am somebody who needs something a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more exciting. It's just my personality.
That's why you have more than one car.
That's if you can't have more than one car. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's move on. I think we covered this, right?
I like more pie. Let's leave it there.
Okay, thanks a lot for all your videos. Thank you for watching. I'm not a big fan of SUVs, and I'm thinking about getting a Civic Hatchback Sport Touring, manual transmission,
nice.
Awesome, as a daily car and some small travels. Do you recommend this car for a small family, 2 kids? Absolutely.
Sure.
That Civic is such a good size.
It's huge.
Yeah.
The trunk is huge. The back seat is enormous.
Yeah.
Here's the thing is people fall into this whole, I got to get an SUV. Listen, go and check out some cars. Cars have more comfortable rear seats. You kind of recline a little bit.
Yeah.
Got more legroom.
Yeah.
Here's me with all the pie in my belly getting in the back seat of the Civic Hatchback. And the trunk, I'll show you the trunk. It's roomy, man. You could totally get by with that.
Absolutely. We have a Honda Civic. I have seen our very tall boys get in there with
and all their
friends, and they do just fine. Love your reviews. Thank you so much. In general, wondering about your thoughts on plug-in hybrids versus standard hybrids. Good question.
I love me a regular hybrid.
Zach loves the regular hybrid. For me, I really like a plug-in hybrid because I mostly do city driving. I can stay within that range each day. I'll plug it in every night, whether it's a level 1, level 2 charger. I'm going to have a clean drive every day.
Okay, so you have gas, and then the price to get into a hybrid is just a little bit more. The price to get into a plug-in hybrid is a lot more. And I truly believe for most people, that just spending a little bit more to knock about 30% off your fuel every time you fill up is a great example. One car absolutely shocked me how efficient it was and how much I loved driving it was the Kia Niro regular hybrid. I thought that was a great little car.
Yeah, well, I like the price of the Niro plug-in hybrid. And then I'm not even going to stop and get gas at all because I'm going to have a clean ride every day.
And you just get the Niro
and,
pure electric. That was fun.
The Sportage or the Sportage,
yeah.
is priced really well too. And I'm going to have a clean drive every day with that one.
And back to the whole I
don't like hybrids. I do too.
Back to the whole I live in an apartment building. Okay, we talked about you could do a plug-in hybrid if you had access to just a regular outlet.
Yeah.
If you don't, do not buy one or an electric car. Get a hybrid, just fill it with gas and save money and you'll be happy.
Yeah, and enjoy it that way. If you cannot plug in a plug-in hybrid, do not get a plug-in hybrid. When can we expect the Toyota Corolla hatchback hybrid to come to North America? I'm actually surprised that it isn't offered. Don't you think?
Well, it is it's a different product than the regular sedan. It's got a smaller back seat and all that kind of stuff. I don't know.
It'd be nice if it came.
How many more cars can Toyota introduce? Like their portfolio of cars is absolutely shockingly huge compared to everybody else.
Plug-in hybrids. More powerful hybrids.
And then you've got all the different kinds of cars. The only thing they're missing in the market, which they used to have, was the subcompact. You have to just remember it's Yaris like Paris. That's how it's not Yaris.
We used to think it was Yaris.
Yeah, it's Yaris like Paris.
Yeah.
They got rid of the Yaris, and that's the one segment they're missing. I wish we still had little cars. We don't have little cars anymore.
Yeah, I know.
The Rio is I think the last one.
Yeah. When a car is recommended to run on premium gas but is stated in the owner's manual to be able to take regular gas as a minimum, is there any harm of doing regular gas? I'm specifically talking about the Lexus NX 350h. No, it does no harm at all, but the premium fuel will give you better fuel economy and possibly power.
Yeah, we'll give you more power for sure.
That is what Toyota or Lexus, all those numbers are designed for is premium fuel. But it won't hurt it.
You can split the difference. Don't be so cheap. You bought a Lexus. This is what I always say to people that buy premium cars and want to put in regular gas. You bought a Lexus, put in the right gas. And then the other thing is you can tap into your thrifty side and put in the mid-grade. Yeah. So put in the mid-grade. Don't be so cheap. That's a good
compromise.
You got a Lexus.
Yeah.
Feed it.
Do you think it's worth waiting for the 2024 Mazda CX-50? Any updates aside from a possible hybrid option? Well, if you want the hybrid, then wait. But I cannot see the brand changing anything. It's a brand new vehicle. I bought a 2013 Audi Q5, and unfortunately it was one with terrible oil consumption problems. I'm looking to get a new vehicle. Should I risk another Audi? Was looking at the Q3 because of the regular gas, but not sure if they've solved the consumption issue with faulty pistons. So unfortunately, the year that you bought it is when it all started. 2013 to 2017 is where the issues were. So it's really unfortunate that you had to deal with that. We've had many German vehicles. We haven't had any issues except for with one. And it can be really frustrating.
Okay, so the Q3 I love because it has the Mark 8 GTI engine in there, okay? So it's basically the same engine they used in the last generation GTI. And that engine has been really quite hardy and reliable, and it's calibrated to run on regular gas. So you can look like you're like Mr. Man Around Town, it's not a man or a woman, I don't know, a Q3, and you can tap into the thrifty side. And that's okay with Zack because the engine was actually calibrated for regular gas.
Yes,
But if it was calibrated for premium, don't be so cheap. Put the proper gas in it.
I just saw an orange one on our street the other day, and it looks fabulous. It wouldn't stop us from buying another German brand, but I think that you have to be aware of the fact that there can be issues. Yeah. You know, I have another follower ask me, between a luxury brand and non, and I said, it depends what's important to you. if reliability and having absolutely no issues, get a Lexus or a Toyota. They've earned that reputation. We will continue to buy German brands. We have a Volkswagen GTI on order.
We're waiting.
If it has any issues, we'll deal with it. We're okay with that.
But that engine that's in the Q3 has been reliable. So I think
yes, I think you're okay.
I think you're okay. It's the rest of the car.
Okay, this is our oh no,
Just
don't
joking,
say
joking.
that. Okay, final question. Thoughts
Really?
on the
We're all done?
Marquettes?
Oh, we
Yeah.
could be here all day. I'm having so much fun, Andrea.
Okay, one more.
I'm serious.
Will it return to normal pre-COVID?
What will return to
New
normal?
cars on lot for
Oh.
sale and used cars actually depreciating, not selling for MSRP or more. I don't know. I think we're a ways off, honestly.
Yeah, the good news is that the values of used cars for people who want to trade in has been great. So if you can get a dealer to sell you the car at its regular price, and then you can get a killer trade-in, the difference between what your value is and what the new car is, you can actually do pretty well on that. So here's the actual numbers out of the United States, is that used car prices are slowly drifting down, and the high interest rates are having an effect. So the used car prices are coming down, but they were at such high levels.
Oh, they were ridiculous. I mean, some of them are still ridiculous today. And then you can't get a new vehicle right away. And I don't think that we're going to go back to pre-COVID times where lots were full. I don't even think the manufacturers want that anymore. I mean, think about them having all these vehicles on the lot just sitting there, and then they got to do deals.
Oh, I heard a story. Somebody pointed this out to me. They said, there are some dealers that are hiding their cars away from the lot. So when someone comes on the lot and says, "Hey, I'd like to get a such and such car," and they go, "Oh, you can see there's no cars. But you know what? Let me see what I can do. I can see if I can get you one." So there's no deal. You're just going to have to buy it for whatever they asked for it. Meanwhile, it's hidden across town somewhere. Hey,
It just shows up. It just shows up.
And then the guy goes, phones you back. Oh, listen, I pulled some strings, and I think we're going to be able to get you the car, and we've got it on a truck, and it's coming, and here's the price. Do you want it? Oh yeah, I'll pay for it. It's car dealers being car dealers.
Yeah, it's
just
not good.
you know what the thing is, they look at the most trustworthy occupations. You know what the most trustworthy occupation is?
Nurse?
No, pharmacist.
Oh, a pharmacist.
Which is in the medical profession,
Yeah.
right? And that's a recent study I saw.
I love nurses.
Nurses are great.
Amazing.
But I guess people have more interaction with the pharmacist.
Yeah.
Maybe. At the very bottom,
Car deal.
car dealer. I wonder why.
Terrible. It's been a rough go, hasn't it? It's been a rough
They have
go.
nobody to blame but themselves. Now, that's not all car dealers.
Nope.
If you're a car dealer or a car salesperson, you look yourself in the mirror and you say, have I been an honest, upstanding individual treating people fairly? Well, that's good. But
Well,
some
I
of
have
them
to
haven't.
say, the Volkswagen dealership where we've ordered our GTI from in Vancouver, he has been lovely.
He has been lovely. Would you want to mess with us?
Probably not. Probably not.
And by the way, that runs on regular gas.
And we're getting a manual. I mean, I just can't.
Andrea's so excited.
Wait. I can't wait. So that's
And
it.
we wait,
We're going to try
and we
and
wait.
we wait. We're going to try and do one of these videos once a week.
Unless we're on the road, right?
Unless we're on the road. But we're going to try and do it because everyone seems to like them.
Okay, can you please do us a favor? Share this with your friend.
Yeah.
If you got a car friend, share it with them.
Share it with them. And follow along on Instagram at Motormouth_Andrea when I put out another post. Get your questions in quickly. Thank you for all the amazing questions and for all the support that you give us on the channel.
What Andrea said.